talk about 2026 goals. I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag now. I fully understand that there's a lot of noise happening. I'm running laundry. It is Sunday, so I am doing my Sunday reset. It's just a light Sunday reset because I've decided that, at least this week, I do love a Sunday reset, don't get me wrong, while also loving my own time. And so there's this like back and forth between doing a Sunday reset for like 3 hours on a Sunday versus doing those things that would take up the 3 hours over the course of the week so that I actually have a weekend. What a concept, right? Am I right? Anyway, so laundry is going. Apologies for that. I'm gonna speak a little bit louder. Yeah, different style video today. We're gonna talk about the goals that I set at the beginning of the year. Well, really like December 31st, 2025. And it is currently Sunday, March 22nd. And that means that we're nearing the end of Q1, which I hate that I'm going to say this because I can hear already like how many people are saying this, but like, wow, it's gone by so quickly. It really has. And it's making me kind of rethink some of the goals that I set for myself for the year, while also wanting to make sure that I really just like do a check-in on a quarterly basis. So a little reflection from the past quarter, as well as looking forward to the next quarter and adjusting some of the goals, making new ones, some shifts, things like that. I think that's really healthy. I think that's really good. Sorry, I thought I saw a spider. There is no spider. I'm really looking forward to diving into this. A lot of this was like a brain dump from yesterday, and there might be some more things that I add in. I'm also watching a friend's dog, and the amount of hair that just, it's everywhere. It's in my laptop. The dog is over there. I'll show you've already seen clips of like my entry into this vlog. But yeah, this is more of like a talking head style. So hopefully this is helpful for some of you if you're looking to reset yourself for Q2. And if you're not, I think this could also be really helpful when really considering maybe that as an option. You know, when you set a goal for a full 365, 364 days, things change. Like, we're not factoring in that growth is good, change is good, and you never know what's gonna happen. And I think the beginning of this year, that version of me knew that a lot of change would be happening. And this was also the first year that I set goals rather than just like kind of picking a word of the year. I typically pick a word of the year, and I hope that that's what my year kind of emulates or encompasses. And I was kind of nervous that having all these different goals, it would put a lot of unnecessary pressure on myself, because that is the type of person that I would normally be. But now that I'm shifting my mindset into a quarterly goal system, while still having my overarching goals that I check in with, but like some big goals, you know, they take smaller goals and smaller steps to get there. And so breaking it apart also on a quarterly basis, or even a monthly basis if that's your thing, could be really helpful. I've also been noticing that I have a desire to rethink my daily schedule. And maybe it's because it is officially spring now. The weather, as you can see right now in Columbus, it's sunny. You can't feel it, but it's warm. It's supposed to get a high of like 84 or something crazy today. And it makes me want to be outside more. Whereas when I was writing my initial goals, I was like, screw that. It's cold and dark all the time. And now it's not. Again, things change. So with that, I think a lot of my desire to be outside is going to affect my daily schedule. I want to go on walks again. I want to be able to put that into my 24-hour period of time that we all get. And where before it was like, okay, I could kind of habit stack where I was walking on my walking pad, which is still great and I still do. And I was also working while doing that. So I was multitasking, and I can't work while I'm walking outside. I need to be paying more attention to my surroundings and just like being more mindful. So maybe that looks like a 30-minute walk at the end of my day, like what I did last year was very much that. It was a good breakup from being on my laptop, sitting for most of the day, I would just like have a cutoff time and go on a walk. I am a fair weather walker. I walk when it's nice out. If it's rainy, I don't walk outside. I will walk in the gym on the treadmill, and that's fine. I think that kind of leans into why I want to change my daily schedule. Obviously, like, it's brighter later. I'm excited to be outside. It's warm, it's sunny, spring, summer is on the way, you know, all those kind of good feelings. And I also really want to be working less. I work for myself. I have the ability to play around with my schedule, and I don't take advantage of that. So being able to get the support that I'm looking for is great. That would be really helpful, because otherwise I just feel guilty. Like, even this weekend, I've noticed, today is Sunday, I would typically be getting some work done for some clients, and I don't have to today. And it's this weird kind of mind F that I've just been sitting here going, well, then what do I do? Like, if I'm not working, what do I do? That's where I'm like, okay, Sam, we need to find hobbies because that's crazy. You shouldn't be working all the time or thinking about working all the time. And I've just trained myself to be that. So I feel like I'm just going on a tangent at this point. But essentially, daily schedule, that's something in Q2 that I want to switch up. I want there to be more outside time, and I want to be walking more and getting back into listening to podcasts while I walk, or not being in my apartment all of the time, which is exactly what it feels like I'm doing. The laundry just switched over. So it's a little bit quieter, hopefully. At some point I will get a mic, because I'm filming everything on my phone, and I don't want to have all of these videos like taking up all my storage. I pay for 2 terabytes of storage, which is nuts. And also, it's necessary when you're filming long clips in 4K, so it is what it is. But hopefully soon I will be getting a vlogging camera that can be separate from my phone, and then these things can be separate. That is the hope. It will come with a mic. That will be nice. I could clip it right there, do something fun with like a spatula or something. Also, working on my discipline. This is something that I have battled with for quite some time, where I typically rely on feeling motivated rather than being disciplined. And there are a few people that I follow that have really helped with this mindset of developing discipline rather than relying on motivation. I think I've talked about this before, maybe not in depth, but that is something that I want to focus on, continue to focus on throughout the whole year, and playing with ways to have like goals or checklists, very Virgo, I know, that help me see where I am with developing this disciplined mindset and really disciplined lifestyle. It's kind of, it's a twofold, right? You have to have this mindset to carry you into creating the lifestyle. So that's something that I also have been noodling on a lot. I don't necessarily have like my daily schedule. I know exactly what this needs to look like or what I want it to look like. I just know it's something that I want to focus on. So that's the plan there, is to spend some more time so that I can feel a little bit more intentional about the daily schedule and discipline, and they kind of go hand in hand. Another really big one for me is this concept of stop trying to make the right decision and instead make a decision right. I have this like perfectionist mindset where everything has to be this or that. And I have this tattoo on my wrist. It says "and" to kind of remind me of this, that it doesn't have to be an or, it can be an and. And I catch myself a lot, and that's why I got it so visible right here for myself. I do catch myself a lot focusing on, or I guess hyper focusing really on like needing to make the right choice. There's a right choice and a wrong choice, and I'm trying to remind myself that that's not necessarily true. You can make a choice, any choice, and you can make that choice right for you. And I've done it in the past. I have proof of concept, and I just need to continue to remind myself of that specifically. So I guess that would almost be like having a little bit more lax around, like, not everything is permanent. And while that can be scary and I could go into like this overthinking space, I could also let it be freeing. And it can be both. I don't know if this is making any sense. Regardless, stop trying to make the right decision and instead make a decision right is something I want to kind of be an overarching theme as I continue into 2026 and moving into Q2 of this year. Very randomly, but I have a list of I guess it is a list. It's a groupings of some miscellaneous goals, business goals, content creation goals. I made a video at the beginning of the year. It was like one of my first ones on here, diving into all of those things. And so breaking that apart, not like goal by goal, because some of those things I'm still working on and some of them I've let fall to the wayside, but this grouping is more specifically the things that are at top of mind for me. And again, things are allowed to change and fluctuate. You are a person that's constantly growing and learning and shifting, and I think that's beautiful, and I want to make sure that I keep that mindset. So the next check-in for end of Q2 going into Q3, these might be completely different groupings and categories, and that's okay. My physical appearance updates. I planned on wearing my contacts to this to show you that I have contacts now, which was a huge thing for myself this year. But I scratched my eye, and so getting in and out of my eye, I was like, I'm gonna give it a couple days. So I took yesterday afternoon and then today off from wearing them, and I will go back to them tomorrow. So in a future vlog, you will see my contacts. Well, you won't see them because they're barely visible, but you won't see the glasses. I'm working on getting used to the contacts. I'm very excited that I have them. I literally got them this past week. Been playing with them. I have tried the monthlies and can get them in and out pretty quickly now. The dailies, I think there's something messed up with my prescription, and maybe that's what caused some issues with my eyes. So like I said, giving them a break, but that was a big goal, and we're gonna continue to work on getting used to them and wearing them more than these. So very excited about that. I actually had the goal of 2 to 3 workout classes a week. That has not happened. I don't think I did any week where I had 3. I think I had a few weeks at the beginning, like in January, where I did 2. But truthfully, I've just been like cutting expenses, and that was an expense that I cut. And I do want to at least do 1 workout class a week. I think that's feasible. I'm going to sign up for ClassPass and hopefully be able to like find a rhythm within that. So that's nice. I could try a couple different places, different studios. Pilates and yoga are kind of like my sweet spots. So looking forward to trying that, especially in the new part of town that I'll be in. So some new to me studios, which will be fun. 1 workout class a week, and then I'll continue with my own personal daily walks, trying to hit those 10K steps a day, and then doing some at-home yoga. I typically do yoga with Adriene, but if you have another favorite, let me know. Lastly, in this process of moving, I will be going through my closet and getting rid of things that I've had for over a decade at this point that I just don't love anymore. I want to... Sorry, she's snoring on the couch, which means she's asleep, and that's very nice because she's been zooming. I want to go through clothes that I just don't wear anymore, get rid of some things, see what is missing in my closet, and be able to do like a good shop to get some things and get some pieces, because I'm constantly finding myself being so frustrated in my closet that I have nothing to wear, that I don't like how anything looks on me, and I'm just tired of that constantly being played through my brain. So I need to fix it, and that's how I'm going to do so. That is actually like a goal, like a solid goal for Q2. I have been working on my Pinterest board, so I have a better idea of the fashion and the style that I'm liking and gravitating more towards. That's been really helpful. Miscellaneous goals. I am moving, which was a goal on my bingo card for 2026. I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed by this process. So just like being a little bit softer with myself, being a little more gentle on myself, those are definitely big goals. Actually, like a month from today, I will be completing the move. That's wild to think about. Oh my gosh. I am staying on track with my 2 therapy sessions a month. I did go to Japan in February. I posted a little bit about that on the vlog and on my Instagram. So if you want to check it out, please check those videos out. It was so much fun. I already want to go back. I also booked a trip in May for a new city. So a new country and a new city were on my bingo card. I will also say though, so was Japan. So I think I do need to have a new country, which I'm kind of thinking might happen closer to the end of the year. The Q2 goals, in just like randomness, will be one new recipe per week. I have been cooking more at home. That's been fun for me right now. We shall see if it will maintain the funness levels as we continue into Q2. I typically get pretty bored with food. We'll see how it goes. Ideally, I think one new recipe a week is doable. Another one is to start dating, which I have deleted myself off of Hinge. I did download Bumble. We'll see, honestly, we'll see. Like, I'm not putting any pressure at all on that. I would love to find my person. I would love to fall in love, and that is on my bingo card. We will totally see. Again, the amount of pressure could not even be quantified. I'm just trying to enjoy my life and build something that I love. And if I find someone who fits into that, amazing. And if not, it is what it is. Last miscellaneous is more girls' nights and like girl dinners. I would personally love a weekly, but I'm going to ease some pressure off of that and have it be a 2 times a month type of situation. I think that's very doable. Again, like the weather is getting better, the days are feeling longer, so there's going to be more, like the energy for that has increased, I think. And I think we'll be able to like implement more of those in Q2, which has me feeling very good. I love a girls' night. I love reconnecting with friends. And I feel like when you have them consistently enough, you're not like sharing new things every time. You're actually continuing conversations, which both are great. Love the idea of being able to like continue conversations with friends rather than being like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in months. Like, catch me up. Like, you shouldn't have to be catching up with your friend every single time you see them. It could be like a continuation of whatever they're going through. Business goals. I signed another client and I'm currently onboarding them. This is an influencer client for my roster, which is very exciting. That brings me to 5 incredible creators. Has me feeling so good because that all happened in, not all of those creators, but this growth is happening already in Q1, and it's just going to continue to lead in and spill over into the rest of the year. I am hiring support for my brand clients so that I can focus on my influencer clients as well. That's amazing. Q2 goals for my business. I'm keeping it so light for myself. I would like to make sure that I get out of my apartment once a week to do a couple hours of work at a coffee shop. And if that includes meeting up with somebody, amazing. If it's just a solo coffee shop work, great. Not putting a ton of pressure on this. But the other day, I finally got out of my apartment and went and worked from a coffee shop. I worked for like 3 hours. I got so much stuff done. It's a really good feeling. That is the only goal that I have for Q2, other than like continuing this feeling that I've got going right now. I feel good about where my business is. Last grouping is my content creation goals. This has been happening a little bit more behind the scenes as I have been really working, like journaling how I want to show up on social media, what platforms, what are my buckets, what's the content that I enjoy, what do I enjoy consuming, trying to like sort through all of that. And also like I haven't been as consistent on here as I want to be. So the plan is a weekly video on YouTube. That would be the goal. And right now I'm in this fun phase where I can kind of create anything and just see what happens. Goals, I guess, would be more discipline, which has been the buzzword for this video, I feel like. Yeah, more discipline in my content creation journey, like making sure that it's still a priority. And I feel like it's fallen to the wayside and I don't want it to, because I know that this time next year, I'll be showing up being like, oh, I wish I could spend more time on content creating and this is what I want to do. I'm tired of saying like, oh, I wish. I just want to do it, you know? Editing videos sooner is a way to keep that process going. And I mean, editing videos, it takes a minute. It takes a minute. And I don't even do all the crazy edits that so many other creators I watch and follow do. So honestly, kudos, more power to you. It is not a hard thing, but it is not an easy or simple thing either. Again, like I said, I want to post weekly for YouTube. Ideally, I'm posting 2 to 3 times a week on Instagram with those consistent buckets so that people kind of not necessarily know what to expect, but at least know they have an idea of the content that I'll be sharing. And right now, a lot of that is like food, travel, and discipline, solopreneur, like life stuff. I call it my life between flights. I've thought about this for a minute and I'm still thinking about it. I used to do UGC for brands and I stopped just because I got so busy with everything else. And honestly, I'm still really busy. Like my schedule is pretty full. But I also have been thinking about starting to do UGC again because I love that creative outlet and it's fun for me to put videos together when I know that it doesn't have to stick to a certain lane like I would want to keep in my personal Instagram. So that's something I've been thinking about. And the last thing I've already mentioned, but it is buying a separate camera. I've been looking at a lot of different things. I've been looking at actual DSLRs. I have been looking at like DJI. I have looked at Insta360s. At this point, I have researched myself into the ground and now feel like if I don't just make a decision and make that decision right, I'm not going to do anything. And I'm going to continue to complain about how I'm taking videos on my phone and there's too many videos on my phone. Hopefully that will be happening very soon. Actually, the only thing I wanted to do was make sure that I got my taxes all sorted, which they are sorted. We are done. Yay! So it's going to be a lot of money next month going out for taxes. I am grateful. It shows that my business made money last year, which is very exciting. These are all of the things that I am really excited to tackle and to spend some time on in the next 3 months or over the course of the next 3 months. These are goals that I know are only going to add to the life that I want to be creating for myself. It's just a mini update on all of those things. I think things like this are really helpful. I love watching videos like this. I love hearing what people's goals are and why, what's shifted and what's changed. I think change is such a beautiful thing. If you have any goals that you're working on, I'd love you to like drop them in the comments and hopefully we can hype each other up in there. Thanks so much for jumping in and taking time out of your day to watch this video, and hopefully it gave you something to noodle on or something to look forward to for yourself when it comes to your 2026 goals, your Q2 goals, your April goals, whatever that looks like. I wish you the absolute best and I'll see you in the next one.